Stop waiting for someone to come and save you. Nobody is coming. You are the one who has to pick yourself up, look in the mirror and decide that enough is enough. You cannot keep blaming the world, your past, or the people who hurt you. At some point, you have to realize that your healing is your responsibility. Fix yourself, not because anyone else deserves it, but because you do. You deserve to feel peace in your own mind. You deserve to live without being chained to old pain. You deserve to see what happens when you finally choose discipline, when you finally choose yourself.
The truth is, no one is holding you back more than you. Your excuses, your procrastination, your self-doubt, those are the real enemies. And the moment you stop entertaining them, everything changes. The life you want is waiting, but it will not wait forever.
Stop chasing validation. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop hoping people will see your worth, see it yourself. Prove to yourself that you can do hard things, that you can rebuild, that you can rise again. Fix yourself not to be perfect, but to be free. Free from old versions of you. Free from cycles that have kept you small. Free to step into the life you've been dreaming about. So today, take responsibility, take action, take back your power, because the moment you do, you'll realize you were never broken. You were just waiting for yourself to finally show up. Stop waiting for someone to come and pick you up off the floor. It is not going to happen. No one is standing outside your door with the answers to your problems. No one is about to hold your hand and fix the mess you refuse to clean. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth you need to hear. You are responsible for yourself. You are responsible for the way your life looks, for the way you carry yourself, for the way you choose to respond to the things that happen to you. The day you realize this is the day your life begins to change. Think about it. How long have you been sitting, waiting for someone to notice your pain, waiting for someone to save you from the weight you've been carrying? And every time someone doesn't show up, you feel disappointed, abandoned, unworthy. But maybe that disappointment is the lesson. Maybe the universe is trying to tell you that the person who is supposed to show up is you. That no one can care for you in the way you can care for yourself. That the only person who truly understands the depths of your pain and the power of your potential is you. Responsibility is not punishment. Responsibility is power. When you take responsibility for your life, you take back control. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and you start being the creator of your reality. You can't control the things people did to you. You can't control the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the losses, but you control what you do with it. You can decide whether you let it destroy you or whether you use it to build a stronger version of yourself. Every time you choose responsibility, you choose freedom. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming your parents, your ex, your boss, or the society you live in. Stop blaming what you cannot change. Blame keeps you weak. Blame keeps you small. When you're busy pointing your finger outward, you forget that the power to change has been sitting in your own hands all along. Yes, maybe you were hurt. Maybe things were unfair. But staying stuck in that story doesn't make it fairer. It only keeps you chained to a version of yourself that you should have left behind a long time ago. You need to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. No one is responsible for your healing but you. No one is responsible for your success but you. No one is responsible for your happiness but you. If you keep waiting for someone else to do the work, you will keep waiting forever. If you keep waiting for the right moment, you will waste your whole life in the waiting room of your own potential. Think of all the time you've already wasted wishing someone would come and change your situation. What if you had used that energy to change it yourself? Where would you be by now? How much further ahead would you be if you had simply started? The truth is, you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You are capable of more than you allow yourself to believe. But you've been hiding behind excuses, behind fear, behind the comfort of being a victim. And as long as you stay there, your life will not move. So ask yourself, do you want to spend the rest of your life waiting? Waiting for love, waiting for validation, waiting for a miracle? Or do you want to wake up today and decide that you are the miracle, that you are the person you've been waiting for? Because once you make that decision, once you choose yourself, the game changes. You will stop begging for scraps of attention. You will stop accepting less than you deserve. You will stop living like your life belongs to everyone else but you. Responsibilities is uncomfortable. It means admitting that you've wasted time, that you've made mistakes, that you've allowed yourself to settle. It means holding yourself accountable when it's easier to play the victim. But on the other side of that discomfort is power. Power to rebuild. Power to start over. Power to create a life that actually excites you. You can't taste that power if you keep handing it away to people who don't even care about you. Fix yourself because no one else will. Fix yourself because the version of you who is tired of crying, tired of being disappointed, tired of being stuck, deserves to see what happens when you finally take control. Fix yourself because freedom doesn't come from waiting. It comes from action. It comes from standing up, dusting yourself off and saying, this is my life and I'm going to make it what I want. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need anyone to understand you or support you or believe in you. You only need yourself. That's the part you've been avoiding. Deep down, you know the truth. You are enough to save yourself. You always have been. It's just easier to believe the lie that someone else will come along and do it for you. But you're done with lies. You're done with waiting. You're done with giving your power away. So fix yourself, take responsibility, not because it's easy, but because it's the only way you'll ever be free. The sooner you accept this truth, the sooner you'll start building the life you've been dreaming about. And one day when you look back, you'll realize that the moment everything changed wasn't when someone finally showed up for you. It was when you finally showed up for yourself. Stop waiting for your wounds to magically heal on their own. Stop waiting for the pain to vanish just because time is passing. Healing is not automatic. Healing is not something you stumble into by chance. It is a choice, a decision you make every single day. You are the one who has to take your broken pieces and carefully put them back together. You are the one who has to take the scars and transform them into lessons. And yes, it's unfair that you were hurt. It's unfair that people betrayed you. It's unfair that circumstances knocked you down. But unfair does not mean impossible. Unfair does not mean you can't rise. It just means you need to take control of your own healing. Too many people spend their lives trapped in blame. They point their fingers at their childhood, at their parents, at the people who abandoned them, at the situations that crushed them. And while they keep pointing, while they keep blaming, they stay exactly where they are. Because blame gives you no power. Blame gives you no progress. Blame is just another cage, one you build for yourself and then convince yourself you cannot escape. You think you're justified because yes, those things really did hurt you, but holding on to the story of how you were wrong doesn't make you better. It keeps you stuck. Healing starts when you decide to stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? What now? After the heartbreak? What now? After the disappointment? What now? After being let down by people you trusted? The answer is simple. Now you pick yourself up. Now you take your pain and turn it into strength. Now you choose to stop letting your past define who you are becoming. Because if you don't, you will stay trapped in the same cycle, replaying the same story, convincing yourself that life is something happening to you instead of something you can shape. You have to understand something. No one else can heal you. Not your friends, not a partner, not even the people who hurt you in the first place. No apology will fix you. No closure will suddenly erase your scars. Waiting for those things is like waiting for rain in the desert. It keeps you thirsty. It keeps you desperate. Healing doesn't come from them. It comes from you. It comes from facing your pain, owning it, and then deciding that it no longer controls you. So many of you avoid your healing because it's uncomfortable. You distract yourself. You bury yourself in noise. You run from silence because silence forces you to face yourself. You stay busy so you don't have to feel. But the truth is, what you avoid will always chase you. That wound you keep ignoring, it's still there. That pain you keep covering up, it's still screaming underneath the surface. You can't run forever. At some point, you're going to have to sit with yourself, with the hurt, with the parts of you that are still bleeding and say, we're going to work on this. We're not going to ignore it anymore. Healing doesn't mean pretending it never happened. Healing doesn't mean faking positivity and forcing a smile. Healing means acknowledging the pain, respecting it, and then releasing it. It means saying, yes, this hurt me. Yes, this broke me. But it will not define me. That's how you take your power back. That's how you stop letting the past control the future. And let me tell you something important. Healing is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll feel like you've gone backwards. That's normal. Progress is messy. Growth is uncomfortable. But the difference between people who heal and people who stay stuck is simple. The ones who heal keep showing up for themselves, even when it hurts, even when it's exhausting, even when it feels endless. They choose themselves again and again until the pain starts to loosen its grip. You stop expecting instant results. Stop expecting to wake up one day and feel nothing. Healing is a process. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes commitment. But every time you face your wounds, every time you release a piece of pain, you move closer to freedom. And that freedom is worth every difficult step. So stop blaming. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop expecting anyone else to come in and clean up the mess. Your healing is your responsibility. And that is not a burden. It's an opportunity. Because when you heal yourself, you create the version of you that is unshakable. You create the version of you that no longer gets broken by the same patterns, the same people, the same mistakes. You create the version of you that is free. And isn't that what you want? To be free? Free from the weight of the past? Free from the cycles that keep replaying? Free from the bitterness, the resentment, the anger that has been poisoning you? Then you have to do the work. You have to sit with yourself, take responsibility for your pain, and decide that you are done carrying it. The people who hurt you are not coming back to fix it. The situations that broke you are not going to undo themselves. Closure is not something you get, it's something you create. Healing is not something that happens to you, it's something you choose. And if you can choose your healing, you can choose your freedom. So choose it, choose yourself, because you are worth healing for. You are worth the peace that comes after the storm. You are worth building a future that feels lighter, brighter, and stronger than the past you came from. And you can only have that if you take responsibility, if you look in the mirror and say, this is mine to carry and this is mine to release. That is when healing begins. That is when you stop being defined by your pain and start being defined by your power. And that is when you finally understand that no one else was ever supposed to fix you. It was always you. The biggest enemy you will ever face is not outside of you. It's inside. It's not the people who doubt you. It's not the system. It's not even the circumstances you think are unfair. The real enemy is your own excuses, your own self-sabotage, your own voice that whispers, not today, maybe tomorrow. That voice has kept you stuck for years. And the truth is, the day you stop entertaining that voice, your entire life changes. Think about how many times you betrayed yourself. You said you would wake up early, but you didn't. You said you would start working on your goals, but you procrastinated. You said you would stop settling for less, yet here you are still allowing people into your life who don't respect you. Every single broken promise you make to yourself chips away at your confidence. And the saddest part, you started to believe this is just who you are. Lazy, inconsistent, unworthy, but that's not who you are. That's just who you've chosen to be. And if you can choose to sabotage yourself, you can also choose to discipline yourself. You need to understand how powerful you are and how dangerous it is to be your own obstacle. Because if you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life blaming external factors when really it's been you holding the keys to your own prison the entire time. You've been the one keeping the door locked. You've been the one choosing comfort over growth, distraction over focus, fear over courage. Nobody is holding you back more than you. Stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you're doing your best when you know you're not even trying. Stop acting like the universe is against you when you can't even commit to showing up for yourself. If you want different results, you need to stop repeating the same excuses. You need to stop letting "I'm tired" or "I'll do it tomorrow" become your identity, because that identity is destroying you. Do you know what happens every time you listen to that lazy voice? You train yourself to settle. You train yourself to be comfortable with mediocrity. You tell your mind and your body that they can give the bare minimum, you'll still accept it. And that's why your goals feel impossible. That's why your dreams feel far away, not because they are impossible, but because you've conditioned yourself to believe that you don't have the discipline to reach them. But here's the truth. You are capable. You are strong enough. You are smart enough. You are worthy enough. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the version of you that refuses to grow. The version of you that chooses instant gratification over long-term freedom. The version of you that chooses Netflix over discipline, comfort food over health, procrastination over progress. That version of you is the enemy. And the sooner you recognize it, the sooner you can fight it. So how do you win? You start small. You start by keeping promises to yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Do the task you've been avoiding. Take care of your body even when you don't feel like it. Show up for yourself again and again until you build the kind of trust that no excuse can break. Because self-trust is power. And when you trust yourself, nothing outside of you can control you.
Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from the cycle of guilt. Freedom from the weight of wasted time. Freedom from the constant regret of knowing you could have done more. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you take your power back. You prove to yourself that you are not weak, that you are not broken, that you are not destined to stay stuck.
And listen, growth will not always feel good. It will not always feel motivating. Some days it will feel heavy, exhausting, uncomfortable, but that discomfort is the price of freedom. That discomfort is proof that you are leaving behind the old version of yourself. And if you can push through it, if you can keep showing up even when it feels hard, you will see results that will silence every excuse you've ever told yourself. So stop blaming others. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop giving your excuses more power than your dreams. The life you want is not waiting for you in some faraway future. It's waiting for you on the other side of your excuses. You just have to be willing to face yourself, to be brutally honest, and to decide that you are done standing in your own way. Your biggest enemy is not outside, it's you. But here's the beautiful thing. Your biggest ally is also you. The same mind that keeps you stuck is the same mind that can set you free. The same habits that keep you small can be replaced with habits that build you up. The same voice that says, I can't, can be trained to say, I will. That is your choice. That is your responsibility. So fix yourself. Stop sabotaging. Stop procrastinating. Stop shrinking. You are capable of so much more than the life you're currently living. But until you face the truth that you are your own biggest obstacle, you will keep repeating the same cycle. It ends when you say it ends. It ends when you stop letting excuses control your future. It ends when you decide that you will no longer be the one holding yourself back. And when that day comes, when you finally choose discipline over excuses, action over procrastination, growth over comfort, you will look back and realize that the enemy you thought was out there was never the problem. It was always you. And now finally, it is also you who sets yourself free. Stop waiting for people to tell you that you are enough. Stop waiting for them to finally see your worth, to finally treat you the way you deserve, to finally give you the validation you've been craving. Because here's the truth. Some people will never see your value, no matter how much you give. Some people will never appreciate your heart, no matter how pure it is. And the longer you wait for them to see it, the longer you ignore the fact that you're the one who needs to see it first. Your worth has never been in their hands. It has always been in yours. But you've been conditioned to think you need proof from your parents, proof from your partner, proof from society, proof that you are good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough, worthy enough. And because of that, you've been living like a beggar, waiting for scraps of approval to fall into your hands. When in reality, you were born with a crown. You don't need anyone to hand it to you. You need to remember to wear it. The reason you feel so empty is not because you aren't valuable. It's because you keep giving other people the authority to decide that for you. You hand over your power every time you seek validation. Every time you base your self-worth on likes, on comments, on attention. You're silently saying, I don't believe I'm enough until someone else tells me so. And that is why you feel small. That is why you feel unseen. Not because you aren't enough, but because you keep asking the wrong people to define you. You need to stop chasing. Stop running after people who cannot even recognize their own value, let alone yours. Stop waiting for people who don't have the capacity to love you the way you need to be loved. Stop lowering yourself just to fit into spaces that were never meant for someone like you. Because every time you do, you tell yourself that your worth is negotiable, and it isn't. Your worth is constant. It doesn't rise when people clap for you, and it doesn't fall when people ignore you. It doesn't vanish because someone walked away, and it doesn't grow because someone stayed. It simply is. You don't earn it. You already have it. The only thing you need to do is believe it. And believing it means choosing yourself even when others don't. Believing it means walking away from situations that make you feel small. Believing it means setting standards and refusing to lower them no matter how lonely it feels. And yes, it will feel lonely at times because the moment you stop chasing validation, you also stop tolerating the half love, the half effort, the half respect that people have been giving you. And when you refuse to settle, many people will fall away. That's not loss. That's clarity. That's life showing you who was only there because you didn't know your worth yet. But the ones who remain, the ones who are drawn to you when you finally choose yourself, those are the people who will see your value without you having to prove it. Those are the people who will match your energy, not drain it. And that only happens when you stop begging for love and start embodying it. Kind of validation is a trap because no matter how much you get, it will never feel like enough. You'll always want more approval, more attention, more reassurance. And that cycle will keep you empty. Because the one validation you actually need is your own. When you validate yourself, when you approve of yourself, when you believe in yourself, everything changes. You stop chasing and you start attracting. You stop begging and you start receiving. You stop dimming and you start shining. You don't need them to see you. You need to see you. You need to look in the mirror and remind yourself, I am enough, I am worthy, I am valuable, not because of what I do, not because of who accepts me, but simply because I exist. That is the kind of self-belief that cannot be shaken. That is the kind of worth that cannot be touched. So stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for applause, stop waiting for someone to choose you. Choose yourself, approve of yourself, validate yourself. Because the moment you do, you step into a different kind of power. The kind of power that doesn't crumble when people leave. The kind of power that doesn't shrink when people criticize. The kind of power that doesn't beg to be seen because it knows it already shines. You have been enough this whole time. You just forgot. You buried your worth under years of rejection, under careless words, under experiences that made you question yourself. But your worth never left you. It's still here, waiting for you to remember. And the moment you remember, the moment you choose to own it, you will never again settle for less than you deserve. So stop chasing validation. Stop hoping people one day wake up and treat you the way you dream of being treated. They may never wake up, but you can. You can wake up to your own worth, to your own power, to your own beauty. And when you do, you won't just feel free. You'll feel unstoppable. Because the truth is, you don't need them to tell you who you are. You already know. Now it's time to live like it. Freedom does not come from pretending to be perfect. Freedom does not come from chasing some polished version of yourself that never makes mistakes, never struggles, never falls apart. That's not freedom, that's a prison. The kind of freedom you are searching for comes from letting go of the old versions of you, the ones that kept you trapped, the ones that repeated the same cycles, the ones that kept you small. Fixing yourself is not about becoming flawless, it's about becoming free. You've carried old versions of yourself for too long. Versions shaped by pain, by fear, by other people's opinions. Versions that believed lies about your worth. Versions that accepted less than you deserved. And every time you drag those versions with you into the present, you weigh yourself down. You wonder why it feels so heavy to move forward, why it feels impossible to grow, why the future looks blurry. It's because you are trying to carry identities that no longer belong to you. You are not that person anymore. You don't need to be. Freedom is about release. Release of the habits that no longer serve you. Release of the relationships that suffocate you. Release of the stories you keep telling yourself about why you can't succeed, why you aren't enough, why life is unfair. Every time you let go of one of these chains, you move closer to who you are meant to be. Every time you peel away another layer of old pain, you breathe a little lighter. You stand a little taller. You walk a little freer. Stop trying to prove yourself to the world. Stop trying to show them how perfect you can be, how flawless you can look, how much you can achieve. That will never bring you peace. Because even if you impress them, even if they clap, even if they finally recognize you, inside you will still feel empty if you are not free. Perfection is not the goal. The goal is to be whole. The goal is to be unchained. You know why? So many people stay stuck because they are addicted to their old selves. They're addicted to their drama, addicted to their pain, addicted to their excuses. They wear their trauma like a badge, convincing themselves that healing means losing a part of who they are. But healing doesn't erase you. It reveals you. It shows you who you are beneath all the weight you've been carrying. And if you're brave enough to let go, you will finally meet yourself. Freedom requires courage. It requires standing face to face with the parts of you that are afraid to grow, the parts that cling to familiarity even when that familiarity is toxic. It requires saying goodbye to identities that once kept you safe but are now keeping you small. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel lonely at times. Because when you release old versions of yourself, you also release the people who were attached to them. Not everyone will walk with you into your new life, but that's okay. That's not a loss. It's alignment. Think about it. Do you really want to stay stuck just to keep people around who only love the weaker version of you? Do you really want to carry pain just because it feels familiar? Do you really want to keep repeating cycles that you already know lead to emptiness? Or do you want to be free? Do you want to finally experience what it feels like to wake up without that heaviness in your chest, without those chains on your back, without those doubts in your mind? Fixing yourself is about choosing freedom over perfection. It's about choosing to let go. Even when it's scary, it's about stepping into the unknown, even when you don't know what's on the other side, because you know you cannot keep living the same way. Freedom doesn't mean the absence of problems. Freedom means you are no longer enslaved by them. Freedom means your past doesn't define your future. Freedom means you finally give yourself permission to grow. You don't need to have it all figured out to be free. You don't need to be perfect to be free. You just need to stop holding on to the things that are keeping you trapped. Stop holding on to relationships that drain you. Stop holding on to habits that sabotage you. Stop holding on to stories that were never even yours to begin with. Because the truth is, the cage was never locked. You've been holding the key this entire time. And yes, letting go is painful. Yes, it feels like losing something, but what you're actually losing is the weight that has been crushing you. What you're actually losing are the limits you placed on yourself. What you're actually losing are the versions of you that were never meant to come with you into the future. And what you gain instead is everything: clarity, peace, strength, joy. So fix yourself, not to be perfect, but to be free. Free to say no without guilt. Free to walk away without fear. Free to love yourself without conditions. Free to stand in your truth without apology. That is the kind of freedom that will change your life. That is the kind of freedom that will finally make you feel alive. You don't need to earn it. You just need to claim it. Stop clinging to old chains. Stop convincing yourself that freedom is too far away. It's here now, waiting for you to choose it. All you have to do is let go. All you have to do is release the old versions of yourself and step into the new. And when you do, you realize that freedom was never about becoming flawless. It was never about erasing your scars or pretending your pain didn't happen. Freedom was about carrying those scars with pride, about owning your story without letting it own you, about finally living without the chains that once held you down. That's the life you deserve. Not perfect, free.